All right. Session 9, Impossible Landscapes. Last we left off in session 8, we fast forward the timeline 20 years to 28 of August 2015, Boston area, where we run into agents Manteo, Maya, and Mignon, a.k.a. Jerry Gladstone, a.k.a. oh my God, I got to look up everybody's original names. Lupita Canita and Manteo Perez. What was her Perez? What was her first name?
I couldn't remember it last week.
Remember his character's first name.
I'm getting deja vu right now.
Yeah.
Samantha Perez.
Perez. Sam. Yeah, see? What do you mean I can't remember my own name? As soon as someone tells it to me, I know it.
Yeah, that's it.
And it has been quite some time since we've used the real names. Not that that probably won't change. But it's been 20 years since the events in New York City where the McAllister building was burned to the ground and some occurrences had occurred. And obviously now in Boston with Jerry Gladstone, author, self-published author, has an agent. It has an agent, but has written a few.
High five at davesellsbooks.com.
That's right.
Never met him, but he's a good guy.
That's right.
It's the best.
And while on a book signing in Boston, ends up getting an envelope from FedEx, and with Lupita Canita, aka Agent Maya, who is still in the U.S. Marshal Service, if I'm not mistaken.
She is, yeah. And it's Canetta, sir.
Canetta. God, I apologize. Canetta.
It's okay.
It's a different dialect.
It is. I come from northern Mexico, not southern Mexico.
Okay. I'll accept that. Yeah, she's been a marshal this whole time.
And she also receives an envelope from FedEx in Boston. Remind me why you're in Boston.
She lives there. She is trying to get some distance from her squeeze, who eventually rejected her.
That's right.
And decided to stay married and all that stuff. So she moved from DC to the Boston office, the branch. So she just operates out of the New England now.
And still having to deal with her brother. That is
Jesus. Yes.
Jesus has been quite messed up.
Yes. And her aging dad as well.
Yes. And then, of course, fast forwarding to Agent Manteo, a.k.a. Samantha Perez, owns a motorcycle shop in Boston area. With her brother. Yep. And also as her brother Jorge, is that who it is?
Mm-hmm.
And as you're repairing a bike, you're provided a parcel from FedEx. And inside this parcel is what appears to be an invitation. It has a green triangle on it and some writing. And on the invitation, it says, "Please join us to celebrate the 51st birthday of our friend Richard Zaloni at the Gateway Bridges Restaurant, 9011 Potash Street, Boston, Massachusetts, 02121, with a phone number." Yet there's no date for the birthday, which is a little odd on an invite. Wouldn't you think that's like the most important piece? And upon further investigation of the invitation, I believe, was it
Mignon
had discovered an Exeter. that had been, or exemplar. Sorry,
Exemplar,
not an Exeter. Exemplar that is basically it was kind of put behind the invite. The invite's done with a cardboard frame, and behind the paper printout there seems to be another piece of paper, an exemplar. And moving forward, Jerry Gladstone decides to check out the address that this invitation is pointing to, and in so doing literally almost runs into Agent, as he knows, Agent Mantillo at the same restaurant. And they go inside and check out the restaurant and come back out and run into a vehicle that was passing by where Agent Maya was driving up in her SUV and realizes these two clowns that she had seen 20 years ago in New York City on an operation. So she stops and gains their attention, and she notices the exemplar as well after Agent Mignon points it out, and she notices that and knows that being in law enforcement that an exemplar is used to compare handwriting. So it's usually it's not gibberish necessarily, it's just words. Maybe it's similar to like lorem ipsum. If you're familiar with that, you can find that on the internet. People use it to fill in websites with content for text, but it's just all Latin. But exemplar is actually, English paragraph that writes, and in this one it has some business, but it doesn't really ring a bell with any of you. And as you're doing that outside of the restaurant, Agent Mantillo reaches into her pocket, pulls out one of the cocktail napkins from the restaurant that she pulled off the table while she had lunch with Agent Mignon, where she realized that the gold inlay insignia on the cocktail napkins were similar to the insignia that she had seen on cocktail napkins 20 years ago in New York City. And now it comes to her realization that the Gateway Bridges Restaurant, or GBR, were the initials on those napkins 20 years ago. A sanity check was involved and everything seemed to be okay. And with this invitation, I think you guys had called and found out what date you had to be there, if I'm not mistaken. There was a date that was divulged.
Correct. Yeah, the reservation is for September, 1st September, 8 p.m.
2015, yes. And that's where we pick up, I think, at the end of that session. Maya was thanking Agent Mignon for not publishing. And as a matter of fact, Maya has quite a few of Jerry Gladstone's books in her library, yes.
Don't tell Jerry that.
And
He doesn't need to know.
it was good to know, and thanked him for not putting out the image or the photograph that Agent Mignon, a.k.a. Jerry Gladstone, had come across in the McAllister building with a young Agent Maya naked, black and white, in a book that was full of risque photos. Era hard to pin down, but maybe circa 1930. Now we are in Boston again, and it is, I would say, the date is probably the next day from when you received the invitation, which would be the 29th of August, 2015. Unless you guys decide to fast forward to actually going to the meeting or the party that has been called, just let me know.
Sorry, the party's the 30th, is that right?
The first.
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 So we got a couple days. Yeah. So we did not. We did not provide contact info with each other, or at least, yeah.
I mean, we could assume you guys might have traded cell phones now that they exist and are quite advanced from the days back in the day. Just for a reference, how old is Agent Maya right now?
Let me check, but I think she's early to mid 40s. I think she was like 22. She was young.
Yeah.
So I think if you give me a second to get to her sheet, I can tell you though.
Jerry Gladstone, how old are you now?
46.
And Sam?
So she was born in 68, so that's 47.
Sorry, what's the year right now?
2015.
2015?
2015.
Mm-hmm.
Maya is 43.
Yeah. Might look quite a bit different 20 years later. Maybe a couple pounds, different hairline. A couple pounds either way. Could go up or down. Who knows?
Definitely some gray in that hair now.
Yeah. Voice might be a little more mature, raspy, maybe, depending on, maybe you got a bad habit of smoking cigarettes over all these years. Who knows? Whiskey, drinking whiskey, that'll do it. So unless otherwise stated, I would say it's 29th of August, and you could lead up to the 1st to do what you'd like. I'm all ears, or we could simply fast forward to the day of the party.
Guys, does it make some sense for us to at least like have lunch together or something like that, so we can talk about a few more of the things we haven't shared with one another and that sort of thing, or that we've noticed?
Yeah, if you want to go somewhere near the bookstore, because I still have plenty of books to sign. I'm booked there for the next few days. So.
What do you think, Sammy?
I think. I mean, I have to spend. My plan was to spend some time basically finishing up a bunch of bikes so that if I'm again gone for a week, it won't be a big deal, and making arrangements with my brother and that kind of stuff. But I could certainly find time for lunch, and I think it seems like Perez has gotten a little bit nostalgic, so I think she'd be up for lunch. I mean, she was happy enough to see Mignon, and that was quite a surprise. So.
Yeah.
All right, you guys decide to go to lunch on the 29th. So parting the restaurant, you exchange numbers, and somebody initiates, hey, let's group text. Hey, let's have lunch tomorrow. There's a good restaurant I know of. Now, are you going to have restaurant at the one that you are going to have?
I think that would be bad.
No.
That would be bad craft.
At the Gateway Bridges restaurant? No?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that'd be bad.
I don't know Boston well enough to suggest a place, but it'd be somewhere cool in downtown Boston.
I think some nice pizza joint in North Boston. There's a place that's got all the gangsters on the wall. It's got some good pizza.
Something like Pappy's Pizza.
Sure. I never remember the name of the place, but I always find it. I just wander around the neighborhood until I find it. It's like, it's right there.
All right. You guys, somebody's there early. The rest of you arrive, and you recognize each other, and you grab a table.
Yeah, I'm definitely scooting in late. My fans, there was a lot. It spilled over a little bit. So
I'm thinking maybe then Mentio, Lupita and Sam catch up a little bit, just more generally before he gets there.
Sure.
Without getting into the details about, gory personal life stuff, but what he's been doing for 20 years type of thing.
Right. Yeah.
It might be unique now. I'm interested to know whether you guys use your real names or how personal you get, depending on knowing Delta.
I was even trying to think if I would have had enough forethought to have brought a burner phone. Like if that's still part of I mean, I think it's still part of my life, so that whether I would have given my actual phone, like my personal phone, or whether it would have been sort of the sort of agency burner phone number. I feel like she's probably still pretty strict about that kind of stuff, and probably had a separate cheapy phone. And I think she's still Manteo.
Maya's the same. She's a protocol girl, right? If you remember, she's pretty down the middle of the road on this stuff. So she's still Maya, and in fact, she's been doing work for the program this whole time. So she's got a gear bag always ready. She's got credentials. Right. She's got the phone. She probably has an unregistered firearm somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, Manteo has also. I think because she was doing a bunch of stuff overseas. I mean, she was working overseas, and then with the Air Force, and with that, she was doing agency work from time to time also. So I think she's still been on call. So I think she's still probably the same deal, but it feels comfortable. There's something about getting back with this crew, as opposed to all the random, a lot of solo stuff and other, cells
I would imagine,
that came and went.
Yeah, there's probably some small talk as well about whatever happened to Mosby. Have you guys seen Mailman? All that kind of.
Well, and definitely about what's his face,
Mosby.
I don't think so. Marcus.
Oh, Marcus, yeah. And you mentioned, Sean, that in fact, Lupita had
Marcus
seen.
Once.
Yeah, she's run across him like years ago, but years after New York, right?
Yeah, you said after or just before the agency became legal again.
Yep.
Right around that was the last time you saw him, I think.
Yeah, that's a little weirdness too. As player characters, I don't know if you would know that the official program is in place now versus when it wasn't. Those lines seem to be a little gray. They both exist in 2015. There's the program, and the outlaws. I don't know.
I don't know. I think there'd be like a come in from the cold kind of moment for a lot of agents, and I don't know.
That's true.
I bet we would know that. Let's put it this way. I think Lupita would know for sure that the program got revalidated around 2000, 2001. It got refunded. She may not know that there are outlaws out there still doing their own thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
She might not even think that she was an outlaw 20 years ago.
Right.
That was, you were doing,
It was just unsanctioned. Yeah. It was not funded. Now it's funded again. Right. Okay. So yeah, I think Lupita and Sam are having a good time talking when in walks Mr. Famous Author.
Yeah.
Right. Full of himself.
Hawaiian shirt, boonie hat, safari hat, whatever kind of hat it is.
I don't know what it is, but it's it could be a fishing hat, could be a gardening hat.
Could be, yeah.
Whatever you do in it, it's that kind of hat. Right now it's going to be an eating lunch hat.
In Boston,
so
in the late,
but it's
late
rude
summer.
to wear your hat inside. So
well, we might. I was thinking we could actually get the pizza and go outside and sit.
In the park, sit
in the sun, a little more privacy.
Sure. Guy comes over, takes an order. Wait a minute. Hey, are you Jerry Gladstone?
I'm like, I guess you knew I was in town, huh?
Like, don't go up the stairs. Like,
yes.
I just got my copy.
Yes.
Awesome. Oh, if I just only had it with me.
And I go, lucky you. And I grab, and I had two with me to give to each of them, but I take Manteo's and cross Manteo out, and I'm like, and this is to who?
Johnny.
John.
Yeah.
John.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh,
John.
Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Gladstone. I appreciate it.
Go.
Yeah, I really love this stuff. What's like? Where do you get these? Where did you get this? These ideas is crazy. It's off.
I don't. You never know where inspiration is just gonna hit you. Some days you just wake up. Sometimes you walk out of the shower. You take a nice nap on a park bench and you wake up and there it is, and you got to write it down.
Wow, regular Renaissance guy, like sleeping on park benches and just like writing with ideas you come up with, and that's fantastic. Well, hey, no, I appreciate it. Thanks so much. Hey, I'll get the order in, and pie's on me. No problem.
Oh no,
no, it's great. It's not every day I get to meet somebody that I read their books. And everything. So no worries. Hey, I'll let you guys go. I apologize. I didn't mean to intrude. So.
Oh, it's perfect. And I look at my Manteo and I'm like, yeah, it's me.
Yeah, it is.
Maya just shakes her head a little bit.
Yeah.
She got the pizza when it's ready to go, and we'll
photograph plastered all over the place.
Excellent.
Wow. Yeah, so I was thinking that I was trying to think if there's those psychological, you'd know more about this than I do, Maya, but the handwriting thing, right? Don't they do like personality tests based on handwriting?
Maya shrugged. She says they can. They're not always accurate.
I'm just wondering if we should do something. I mean, they sent us this for a reason, I imagine.
So I think, Sean, we're outside now, right? We're in the park with the pizza.
Yeah. Probably outside the pizza joint at a table, umbrella up, and yeah.
Maya's got a big slice in her hand. She's like, you know what I don't like about this?
Everything?
And, well,
that it's not New York style?
I mean, no, not the pizza.
Oh,
but you're right.
Oh.
No, let's do those New York. She puts the invitation that she's carried with her. She pulls it out of her like blazer pocket, puts them on the table, and kind of taps it and says, "It's just so much like what we saw before, with handwriting, with a personal invitation. It's so much like it."
I didn't show you this, and I'll pull out the napkin out of my pocket. So that GBR, that's it's like that napkin that we found in the apartment came to us from 20 years in the future. Like, I don't even know if that restaurant existed 20 years ago. I mean, I suppose I could find out, and I'll get out my phone and start like searching to see if that restaurant existed 20 years ago.
Sure.
So this is the napkin that we found in New York.
Found it in New York and had that mechanical drawing on it. You remember? It was a real cool little mechanism thing. I couldn't quite figure it out, but
do you produce it, Edwin, at the table?
I produced the napkin. So this napkin is the one that I got yesterday.
Well, we recognize the logo.
Oh yeah,
we recognize the logo.
Yeah.
So
Manteo for sure does.
I take my phone. Yeah, I take my phone, and I have PDFs of all my books. So I scroll to Clown in the Park, and I go to chapter 3, and like the chapter heading, I have little doodles and stuff, and it literally has a napkin with the GBR in the front of chapter 3 of Clown in the Park. I was like, yeah, I do kind of remember that.
Yeah. So that's there's some, I'm worried about that's the same thing over again, but it's also like, what if it's actually the same thing over again?
Maya's got like goosebumps on her arms, chills. She's looking up a napkin at that scrolly GBR. And she's recognizing it. Does she have, Sean, from the work that she's done, does she have a typical handler or a crew that she usually works with? In other words, could she contact Delta Green and say, "Is this from you?"
I would think you would have a common contact over the years that you've done some operations. Yeah. What are you going to attempt to? You're going to try to contact somebody within Delta Green to ask if it's the napkin is from them?
She would take a picture of the invitation that we got, not the exemplar text, but the invitation that says come to the birthday party, and she would text it via burner phone to other anonymous number and simply say, is this an official opera, or is this an opera? Question mark. In other words, kind of code for like, is this a Delta Green sanctioned operation? Knowing that sometimes it is that weird. Sometimes you do just get, an envelope slid under your door.
Right.
Meet at this bus station at this time, and you just have to do it. Right.
Yeah. No. Are you going to do it at the table at the pizza place?
No.
Okay. So that is something you're going to
privately.
Do. I gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Let me make sure I make a note of that. So
I guess the question, sorry to take it out of context or out of order. The question is whether or not she has somebody like that she could text.
I would think you would you would, but that communicating with them is going to be spotty. Right.
Yeah.
Do you leave a message? You could leave a message. They may get back to you. You can say that you do have a resource. You're not sure when you might hear back.
So back in the moment, Maya, slides the envelope or the napkin back over, and just says, "Is this about us somehow?"
That's what I'm thinking. So yeah, I'm on my phone looking up the history, the about us on the GBR page, on the restaurant page, to see how old they are.
So the restaurant, it's I don't know if they would have existed 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I would say yes, the restaurant existed 20 years ago.
Okay, all right.
I lean into them, and
I bet they had different napkins.
Like making sure no one is listening. Not that anyone would even have any idea, but do you still think of the people in that building?
Yeah. I think about those 2 firefighters.
I don't know. It's been tough for me. I constantly think of those people, which is half the reason that I write it down. But maybe this is a chance for us to do something different.
Yeah, I mean, I could imagine, if it's some kind of weird space and we got rid of a door, it doesn't mean there's not other doors to that same place. And that one guy, I mean, there were people in there that we ran into that seemed like they'd been there for, I don't know, 50, 60 years.
Or people that we know. And I avert my eyes from everybody.
Maya
right. Yeah.
When Maya I say that, I text Kennedy Biltmore right now as we talk about someone we know. Like, hey, what's up?
Okay.
Because remembering that I saw her in the building, I want to make sure she is not.
I thought you did that yesterday too. I like that you're doing it every day.
I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
I think that Agent Maya has caught up with Mantillo before Mignon arrived, but I think Mignon, you and I haven't talked yet about kind of what we've been up to. So in this conversation, she says, I have kept doing program work. She says it quietly. I've kept doing program work for all these years, and none of those operations, those operas were like New York. None of them. I think about those people all the time. That wiretap, the guy in the apartment, none of it made sense.
It did not make sense at all.
It's bothered me forever. So maybe we can get some resolution here, but we need to be careful about this. I don't even know if this is really an opera. She taps on the invitation. She taps the green triangle. She's like, I don't know if it's real or if it's something else.
I don't know. I'm seeing it again. Obviously, I have not been involved in anything. I've almost hid / run away from it. Thank goodness they haven't contacted me. And even if this isn't an opera per se. I almost feel like I need to see what's going on with this.
What if Marcus shows up at the birthday party? That'd be messed up.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have a good, it doesn't make sense, but I'm just trying to figure out if there's anything we should be doing
Before then.
And the only thing I could think of was something on that handwriting, or, I checked out the restaurant. It looks, it's not, I wanted to make sure, because remember that at our last meet, folks just disappeared at that hotel down in Florida. Is that where it was? Where we met up?
New York?
No,
before that.
Before that, when I was late, remember?
Remember,
I didn't get there on time, but it seemed like there was some weird stuff that went down there. And so I wanted to know the site before we had to meet, in case there's something like that again. But yeah, other than that, I don't know. I mean, obviously put our shit in order, but
I think we were lucky last time. I don't think we are all still sitting here because of, our prowess.
No, it didn't make. Yeah, it made so little sense that there was there was no, like, I know when to use a wrench, and I know when to use a screwdriver, and I couldn't even see the parts for that one. I had no idea what we were doing.
Yeah. So, go ahead.
I was gonna say Maya gets practical, so she taps that same envelope. She's like, I'll run the handwriting on this.
Cool.
See if I can find anything. We should also try to find out if anything's been rebuilt in New York on that spot.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. I can definitely find that out. That's easy.
Okay. What else?
I'm gonna take care of some stuff I need to take care of, and I will meet you guys.
Have either of you two had flashbacks, or like whatever this napkin is, flash forwards, flashbacks? Like, was there anything else that you've been sort of like connecting? I mean, the invitation is similar, the napkin's the same, but let's see, what was the other stuff we had? There was what was that thing that nearly burned my hands off? It was batteries. They were those old batteries. It was in a radio, I think. It was a World War II radio or something. There was the clown. Like, there was a bunch of stuff 20 years ago, and I'm just trying to think, like, how much of it might end up being connected. It'd be good to figure that out. Maybe shit. You know what I'm gonna do? And this is not about you, but I think I better read those books of yours. I will. I'm gonna, because I feel like we need to know what we did, and I'm sure I've forgotten a lot of the details.
I'll Instagram you coupons, and you can pick them up on the website.
Great. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, no, that's $7.95 a pop is really that's good. Thanks.
Sorry, they take Ethereum if you have any of that. So,
oh god,
yeah, we heard that's going to be the new thing. Oh wait, that's too early. That's 2015.
Let's have this reality where that just doesn't exist. Please. Maya says, "Do we ever end up taking anything out of that building that lasted? That stayed with us ever?"
No, some of the stuff seemed to last for like a day or two at most, but I feel like everything else disappeared, or the information from it on it, and like the books went blank, or just disappeared. The air, goddamn, the air disappeared. Right?
Yeah.
The book with the pictures, Gladstone, Mignon, it ended up being blank after like a day after you left the building.
That's right. The images are burned into my mind.
Some of them are very ingrained in your memory. Yes.
Easy. Sean, the pictures that we took in, is it Abigail's apartment?
Oh, yeah, all those Polaroids.
did those also fade or disappear?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, remember we were in the apartment and trying to convince somebody.
Yeah.
Marcus. It was when Marcus came in.
Young was yelling at Marcus and saying, "Look at all these pictures. Look at what we've done." And he's throwing Polaroids at him, and they're blank. Marcus is like, "What's this? What is this crap?"
Yeah.
Mignon didn't even know it as he's throwing them at him, and then he picks them up. And he's like, "What the? I've taken tons of pictures in this place."
Yeah, I think it all disappeared.
The only thing that doesn't disappear is the stuff that we remember.
Yep.
And I take a folded piece of paper out of my shirt pocket and I unfold it on the table.
It's a sketch of Maya.
It is a sketch, but it's a sketch of that summoning circle and the layout of that room, along with the drawing of the person symbol.
Yeah.
Because that's a normal occult symbol. And I said, this has been in my mind for a very long time. And obviously, if I carry it on my person, I don't have it all the time, but since we were meeting, I figured I would bring it.
Sure. Yeah. That's the thing. You wanted to try to summon some demon or something. Talk to it.
You're blowing it out of proportion. That is summoning demons.
We'll see what your character did in the book. Man, this is messed.
And I just look at Maya and I was like, I was afraid of lead poisoning, so I didn't, carry on with what I wanted to do.
Maya smiles a little. Says, we weren't ourselves all the time there.
So
she's thinking right now. Mentio just said something about the only thing we were able to take out of that place was what's up here, right? She's always been bothered by, like, when she was in that building, is that when the pictures were taken? And she doesn't remember. So she's always had this this haunting feeling of, like, is there time she can't account for?
Oh, the picture of her that was in the book.
Yeah, like,
gotcha.
When was that taken? Does she just not remember it, right? So she's doesn't trust what's in her head from when they were in and out of that building, but she's not going to say anything about that right now.
So now I'm going to overshare and say that I spent a lot of money and a lot of hours to try to not remember constantly what happened. And to be honest with you, with both of you, I've distanced myself from everything that's happened, almost to where I believe it's fiction. And that's why I write it in the books. And it hasn't been until now, seeing the two of you, it's actually made it real again for me. So I think thank you, but I'm not sure. I guess we'll find out after tonight what I dream about. So we'll find out.
Yeah.
So if it's okay with you, I'm going to go take care of some things that we didn't do the first time, just in case. And I think I'll meet up with you on the 1st. But there's definitely some stuff I have to handle.
Well, we got a birthday to celebrate, so bring balloons.
And gasoline.
It's probably a good idea, too.
Not yet. This might be a very straightforward. We might be talking to a handler tonight.
Again, I lean in and I'm like, is it a coincidence Mailman's not here? I don't know.
We might see him in 2 days. We might see him.
Yeah, he might show up. Who knows?
Where's Mosby?
I think he's in prison.
I think he's in prison. I think we're going along with that.
Yes. I'm sticking with that. He's in jail. Well, to facilitate Sean's pace here, I don't think Maya is going to be looking to do much in the next 2 days, other than at the office, try to run this past a handwriting expert, or if there's any kind of analysis that can be run that talks about the type of person that wrote this, because I don't think there's not a handwriting database, right? Not like a fingerprint.
Right.
Sadly.
Right. So, you can. What are you going to attempt to do with the invite? Like, what are you trying to?
I think it's not it's the exemplar. I think
The exemplar.
Yeah. So are we going our separate ways here?
I think the pizza place is wrapping up, so I guess it's like when you disperse, you each have each other's number, I would guess.
Yep.
And I don't know if you guys come to the conclusion like, hey, I'll just give you a call. Mignon's obviously said, I'll just see you at the restaurant on the 1st. I don't know between Maya and Manteo how you guys.
So I'm sure. So my job was to go and check up on whether the New York building was rebuilt, and I think I would report in on that as soon as I can find out. So at some point, I'll definitely call Maya and with whatever I find out.
Okay. Yeah, I can definitely see Manteo and Maya trading texts on their burner phones, type of thing.
All right.
The minute something's found out.
So Manteo, how are you going to find out if the building in New York is still standing? Since it's not that far away, but what is it? New York to
not
Boston?
Still standing. So I think I'm Google Earth to start with. I'll just satellite picture of the block and see if there's a building there. I mean, I know the address.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is not a building there.
Still just a vacant lot?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, then.
That's expensive.
That's rare for New York 20 years later.
Yeah.
But it might be they might be putting something there. They just haven't decided zoning wise.
Right. There's a sign that says Consigli Construction under whatever.
You're gonna plow the whole block and put in something maybe.
So so I'll call it Maya.
But there's like rent control, and there's people who don't want to move, so it's a whole.
It's a fiasco.
Oh
yeah,
it's a whole thing.
Yeah, it's been.
There's these little tiny aliens that come down.
You can't make me move out of my apartment.
They help everyone.
Tied up in 20 years of court system stuff.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly. Exactly. There you go.
Agent Maya, what are you gonna? So, are you going to tap somebody from the Marshal Service to check into the invite?
Yep. So she's doing two things.
Yep.
Back in her apartment, she's taking a picture of the invitation.
Yep.
And she's texting it to her last handler, and with a simple message, just along the lines of, "Is this from you? Is this an operation? Is this an opera?" Right. And then at the office, she absolutely will go into the office. And she's just going to attach it to whatever case she's probably got a couple of cases that are lukewarm that she hasn't started yet. And she's going to try to just, leverage the system to say, hey, you know what? I found this in one of the hotel rooms that the person was in. And I'm just trying to figure out if they wrote it or someone else wrote it. What can we tell from the passage that was written for the handwriting analysis piece of it?
Alrighty then.
Gonna warm up my dice.
Give me a bureaucracy check for sure. I think there's 44. A resources component, but
fail it by 1.
Oh,
dope. Burn luck.
Check the box though.
Just kidding.
you spelled something wrong.
Just gonna. That's right.
They researched it, but it was one letter off or something.
Yep.
Okay, so
the guy's not working this weekend.
Yeah, the guy's out.
Is that .net or .com?
Might not be able to get you the info in enough time. Before the meeting.
So she submits the request, and here's nothing back.
Right.
Got it. Manteo gets a few texts along the lines of nothing yet, and I don't think I'm going to get anything before.
All of these texts
party.
back and forth until the 1st. Jerry does not respond to a single one of them.
I don't think I said
you're
that
not
Jerry
copied
was
on them.
Yeah, he's not copied on them.
You're not getting
That
any.
would be really weird.
Maya, dude.
Really weird.
Fine, that's what I meant.
Yeah,
like,
he just
I
on that
didn't
text.
respond to any of these non-texts I was getting.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Just
He's
in
not
case you guys are
he's not just
texting
sitting
me.
there staring at his phone the whole time, reading for texts.
He's waiting.
I have friends, I swear.
Poor Jerry.
They're meeting me for lunch.
As soon as I sign this thing, these 10 more copies of the book.
Oh dear.
Okay.
All right, never mind.
And what about the text that Maya sends to her handler? Does she get anything back from that?
Give me a bureaucracy check.
Another one.
Good.
Nothing.
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. You haven't gotten
Maya just text to Mentio only. Coming up empty. I'm sorry, dude. It's
No,
the way it would
it's
be.
perfect. It's
It's
perfect.
the way it would be. 100%.
Oh, man.
All right, Mentio.
Right
So
number?
Jerks
the
I gave
everywhere.
them the right number. I may have given them my old number. Damn,
I'm
I
sure
don't
they
remember.
would have texted me by now. I mean, I said I was
Just
going to
'cause
be
I
at the
told them-
restaurant, but
Right, just because I told them not to contact me until...
I didn't mean it.
They should know better.
Ugh.
are you guys going to do anything else? So we'll say the 29th is gone.
Yep.
You going to do anything else from the 30th to the 1st?
Not related to the case, just related to getting ready to take some time off.
Okay. Just put in, hey, tell your brother you're going to be off for some time. Okay.
Yeah. Get that bike done, etc.
All right. So it becomes, do we want to take a break or are we still good? We had a late start, so.
I'm still
I'm
good.
okay if you want to go a little longer,
I'm
or we
good.
can break now. Whatever works.
I was going to get some more
We'll need-
water. Can I get a
We'll need a
grab?
break.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go
you
get
can
it.
break.
Let's get a water
do
quick.
it.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. All right. So it's the day of 1 September 2015. And the birthday party is not until 8 p.m. at the Gateway Bridges restaurant.
And we do know that, right? We know 8 p.m.
Yes.
Yes.
Somebody told Jerry.
Yes.
Standing there all day, just like, all right, they're gonna show
No,
up.
Mentio did have pity on you.
Okay.
I think especially because she didn't admit it to Jerry, but after she discovered that Jerry had the forethought to actually rip the invitation apart,
Okay.
and it hadn't even occurred to her to do it, she was like, "Huh, all right, well, he's got something going on."
Okay.
Anyway, yeah. So September 1st.
Okay. All right. Okay. You come up to the restaurant. Looks very familiar from a few days earlier. And at the as you enter, it's the same, right? The hostess looks. There's a hostess that greets you. Hello, yes, welcome. It's Gateway Bridges Restaurant. How many?
Thanks. We're here for the birthday party in the back.
Yes, the birthday party.
dinner.
Right this way. And
Thanks.
she wanders through the restaurant and goes to that room that you guys had checked out just from the entryway previously on your previous visit. And right before you enter, there is a sign that says, it's like the little lines and the plastic little letters on it. It says, private function, Richard Zaloni birthday.
Good green. All right.
Think we're
Thanks.
Okay.
ready to do this.
And as you enter, there is a few tables in the room. Looks like the larger room can hold up to 12 people. I think I might have mentioned that before when you visited earlier. Around a single large table.
Is there a table for presents set up?
There is not.
So I find the first waiter or waitress that walks by, and out of the brown shopping bag that I'm carrying, I pull out a wrapped present, and you can clearly see it's books wrapped with wrapping paper and ribbon and a bow. And it's my entire collection wrapped. And I just ask, hey, is there a table for gifts? I would like to put this on the table.
Oh, I think we can get a cart for you. We'll wheel one in there.
Oh, perfect. I just hand it to the waitress.
Yep. And she grabs it and takes it, goes back. And you guys are in the room and sit down at the table.
What?
Is it just three of us?
Richard? Yeah, sorry.
Well, I guess
Richard's
that's
alone.
Yeah, Richard.
So just quickly, Maya similarly has brought something. She brought a card, a Hallmark card, and on the inside it just says "Happy Birthday, Dick." And she's giving that to the waitress as well.
okay. Sounds good. So wait.
So as we come in, is the room empty except for is it just empty?
The room
Except for
is
us?
the room is empty except for you.
And how's
guys.
that table set?
There's
Are there like plates and
right.
silver
There's
and
place
stuff?
settings for about 12 people around this large table.
12 people.
Yeah, and you can.
Do you mind if we set the scene just a little, Sean?
Sure.
Like, is the restaurant like bustling, busy? Is it dark?
It's a little after the rush. It's 8:00, so things are starting to taper off a little bit. And it's September 1st, so it's still relatively light out. It's getting a little darker, but not, twilight maybe.
And so, guys, we're arriving when we're like a few minutes before 8 or on the dot type of thing.
I was thinking a couple minutes before 8. Yeah.
Yeah, and no one's there already, Sean.
Nobody's in the room at the moment.
So I'm gonna walk the room and just look for any sort of indication of anything. Card, balloon, engraved something, a place name card, look under a couple plates, just kind of start wandering around in the room and look for anything that doesn't belong to the restaurant, basically.
Traps, secret doors.
Yeah,
How do you
no,
look for
no
those?
traps, no secret doors.
Blood D6.
Click, click.
Oh, and I'm looking back out to those bushes outside because I saw that there was a place that you could monitor here from outside.
Sure. And as it doesn't take very long, and a gentleman walks in, an African American, looks about 60 years old, and he walks in and is actually a little startled. And you're here. Okay, good. Please have a seat. This is you may call me Agent Exeter.
Exeter, huh?
And he comes over
With
to
an
the
E?
table. EXETER. And he comes over to the table where I would presume you're standing or sitting, and sits down.
Sit down across from him, so like 6 feet away.
Okay. 6
The
feet
door's closed.
or
It's a big table. It's a big table, you said.
It is. Do you want to be 6 feet or 4 or?
Well, I'm thinking that his breath weapon has got like a 5-foot range, so
Okay. All right.
It's a
no.
cone.
Way to metagame.
6 feet it is.
Is there a door to the room, Sean?
There's the door you came through, and then there's a door that goes out to the
like a
outside.
fire exit?
I hand him my invitation to prove that I was invited, and I just slide it like across the table.
Oh,
to
that's
him.
not necessary. Thank you. He says you obviously each received your invitation. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
And as he
It's,
sits down,
okay.
you can hear like just very faintly like the crumpling of paper, like as he sits. Just
Like
very
in his pocket.
must be coming from his pocket or something. And who is nearest to him? That obvious isn't Manteo, like 6 feet.
She's further. She's opposite.
Yeah.
I would be directly across. I'm directly across from him.
So you and
No, I took
Manteo
that
are
seat.
sitting on each other's
We're side by
laps.
side. We're sitting on each other's lap. Yeah.
Right. Fine.
Maya is closing the door to the room to give them privacy.
Yeah.
Sure.
And she also has an unregistered Walther in the back of her pants beneath her jacket. So she has her undercover firearm.
Noted.
Okay. And then she'll come over and she'll sit at the head of the table, quite some distance from everybody.
I'm so confused. I have a round table in my head.
Oh, do you? Is it a round table or not, Sean? Round or square or rectangular?
Oval? I'm going to go with oval. Did anyone say oval?
Yes.
It's got 12 seats.
It's octagonal.
The answer is yes.
Okay.
We each have our own vision.
I am within
He sits
arm's
down
reach
next
of
to
him.
Manteo. There you go.
Okay.
I'm within arm's reach.
Okay, I'm not.
And I no longer have a Makarov pistol because it was stolen from me 20 years ago.
I have that in my apartment.
And I have not acquired a new one.
That's awesome.
You can't have it. Sorry, Sean. Go on.
No,
All
that's
right, so we sit down at the cardinal points.
Oh, wow. Oh,
We don't see the pentagram on the floor.
interesting. In the new version of Foundry, you can choose who sees the thing you share.
Oh, that's cool.
They've added a little more.
They did. So
Yeah.
it says show 2, and then there's a check mark after every one. If I,
Oh, that's
Sure.
cool.
yeah. So this is who you see. I hope you
Oh,
can see
nice.
that. Yeah.
Nice.
So he says, and as you sit down, Agent Maya, you can smell Exeter. He's got a little tinge of a BO going on, and even a little bit of oil and gasoline. It's very,
Anything out of place on the guy in terms of like his clothing, the shoes he wears?
he's pretty plain, other than the odor, and then he's got like a kind of a sport coat on, like one of those tweed sport coats.
Okay.
Rather mundane pants, nondescript kind of guy. This is the operation is codenamed India Moon, and it's about locating former operatives of the group. These operatives have been under the care at a psychiatric facility in Boston that itself has deep connections to the group. They've been committed for some time now, and they've gone missing. They were missing as of 28 August 2015.
The day
You're
we got
saying-
the invitation?
Invitation came the day they were found missing.
I can't say when you received your invitations.
When were they sent?
The 28th.
Okay. So they
How many
of them?
invitations did you send out,
Oh, that
Hey,
too.
Mr. Exeter?
Can't tell you that, dude, but
How many operatives are missing?
there's 6.
They all went missing the same day.
Yes.
From the same facility.
Yes.
Same psychiatric facility.
Yes.
And our job is to find them, kill them.
Find them.
What?
Find out what
Find them?
happened to them.
All right.
It says we have not alerted the police, but the group wants them found.
Uh,
It says there was
What
a
do they have in common?
message written on the wall of one of their rooms, and he grabs something out of the inside breast pocket of his sport coat, pulls it out, lays it on the table, and slides it forward. And that looks like
Zoop.
this.
A message. Oh, shit.
And it says on it, it looks like a photo of lines written on the wall of a mental patient's room. It was scrawled on the wall in a copious amount of human blood, he says, covered with taped newspapers. And it says on there, you could read it, it says, Abigail Wright has gone to sea, across the waves to rescue me. In a ship both tall and fine, she rounds the corner, making time.
Marking.
Oh, did I say making? I meant marking.
Yeah.
Marking time.
Nothing to screw up the tension.
So they taped newspaper to the wall and then they wrote on the newspaper in blood. Is that what you're saying?
That's right.
Or whatever, yeah. So did these guys, these 6 people, did they work together before? Were they put in at the same time? Did they have something in common?
We are unsure.
Went to the same opera.
It is something that you do not need to know. It's just members of the group. We know of one thing, and before their incarceration, each of these operatives came in contact with a book known to have unnatural properties. The book goes by many titles. If you come across any occult book in this operation, it is to be reported. Barring any cursory examination for title and author, any such book is not to be read.
Oh, yeah, I bet there's something about like that occult book, Don't Go Up the Stairs. So you're not going to tell us which book it was that these guys all came in contact with. You're just going to tell us that a book, but the same book, they all came in contact with.
That's what we believe.
All right. So, as usual, your MO here is to send us out to do a job without giving us the information that you have in order to do the job.
Agent Maya, maybe you might be able to educate Agent Manteo. Agent Manteo has not been involved with too many operations since.
Maybe I have, and you just don't need to know.
That's possible.
We know you can't tell us everything, but there's information that will make this easier and make us successful.
Indeed, of course.
This institution,
yes,
it's part of the program. The people who work there know about the program.
They do. They're friendlies.
And
he reaches in, he opens up his other breast pocket, pulls something out. You could hear as he does that, like the paper, that the noise, the sound isn't coming from the paper he's pulling out and putting on the table. There's like other paper that must be in his pockets. As he kind of opens his jacket, reaches in, and he grabs out another piece of paper. It's about the size of his palm, a little bit smaller than the picture that he had showed you, and slides that across the table. And you see this. It says, Dr. Richard F. Dallin, Director, Dorchester House Psychiatric Facility, 48 Norwood Street, Boston, Mass. 02122. Then there's a saying underneath that says, sometimes things become possible if we want them bad enough. And it looks like some email address, phone number, and a fax number. And as he gives that to you, he says, Dallin is a group friendly and is very familiar with the group's activities. And he's expecting your call as he taps the card.
He runs the facility. He's the director. Yeah, all right.
So I look at his card, and I pick it up off the table, and I stare at it. And I stare at the quote on the bottom.
Yep.
Sometimes things become possible if we want them bad enough. And everyone sees my face go white. And I get up quickly, and I move over to the cart that has my books on it. And I rip the wrapping open, and I grab the book titled Paintings of Yesterday. And I flip to the inside dust jacket, and I bring it back to the table, and I put it on the table. And the tagline for the story says, sometimes things become possible if we want them bad enough.
Where did you pull that from?
I don't know.
Do you have art?
And I
Right?
just-
Do you have art writing? Mignon?
I have something.
Does anybody else have art writing?
No, I have art painting.
I thought I had art, or maybe I don't have it anymore.
An author without art writing? Boy, these books must be super awesome.
I just spent 2 days reading them. They kind of were.
Yeah.
So 48 Norwood Street's right near the restaurant where we're at.
No, they read like law books, apparently. I have laws.
Is art a skill? I don't think so.
It is. It is.
So it's a custom skill. No, it's something
Art-
you can add under custom.
Yeah, it's like performance
Ah,
X. Performance.
oh, I see it.
Right.
You know what? Yeah.
Did you want art writing?
No. I changed it. It was in there, but it's not in there. That's fine. I don't want it.
You do
You
it.
wrote everything that you needed to write. Now you don't have
Yeah.
Right.
No.
He's never going to write again. It took him years to write
Art
those books.
counting.
So everybody
You know, all I
give
was gonna do
me
is count his
everybody
money.
give me a sanity check for Abigail Wright's
Yeah, let's do
I
that.
really want to make.
being mentioned and on this bloody picture. All right. Everybody got success. Yeah. You guys seem
Yeah.
like just another walk in the park, another day.
So
Yeah.
Maya will say to our contact here, what's his name again? Sorry.
Exeter.
You could call me Exeter.
Do you know who Abigail Wright is?
No.
Does her name mean anything to you?
No. Does it mean something to you?
Do you have any reason why specifically the three of us were called on this op?
I would imagine it has because you could do the job. You have the skills.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure that's why.
ASL doesn't always divulge every motivation.
I look over to Maya and I mouth a cell.
She just gives
So I
him a
was-
little bit of a.
Pretty sure that's not what we were referred to as earlier, 20 years ago.
So, is there anything else that you want to tell us? Any other information you have for us? Or are we just going to go find Dickie Dallin here and see what he's got for us?
He says he reaches underneath the table and kind of flips up the tablecloth, the white linen tablecloth, pulls out this rectangular object and puts it out onto the table. And it kind of gives the table a thud, so it weighs probably a good 3 pounds. And as you look at it, you recognize it as an old-looking satellite phone. He says the group can be contacted securely by pressing *616. But communication should be kept to a minimum.
We're lugging this antique thing around with us to get in touch with you. That's awesome. Thanks.
He shrugs.
You have no dossiers on each of the 6 agents? Their ages, their names?
Photos?
What they look like, anything?
Another pocket of his coat.
This guy's got a magic jacket.
On the front. Hey, there's a lot of pockets in sport coats. On the front, down the bottom one, he grabs something out of it and puts a piece of paper in front of you.
At least we know the agency's filing system is top notch. Little scribbled pieces of paper.
Right.
Pockets of Holden. So the little, how big a piece of paper is this?
It's like a 3x5. Like it was.
And what's written on it?
There are 6 names.
I thought you were gonna like stick man drawings. This one looks like this.
Forgive us for being pedantic, but I think it's in the tropes of this. Is it handwritten? Is
Yes.
it typed?
It's handwritten. Yes, handwritten.
Handwritten.
And it's like been folded twice. Like yeah.
I feel like Mantilla is barely restraining herself from just like knocking this guy out
Slugging
and
him.
searching him. Like, let's just get all these damn papers.
Give
off
us
his
all
body.
the papers. Shake them. Turn them upside down. Shake them.
She's calmed down a lot in her age, and that's why she's able to.
And how do we contact you? Just with the sat phone only?
That's right.
Okay. And where do we take the individuals if we find them?
Make sure you can locate them, and if they're probably back to the psychiatric facility from where they disappeared.
Do
police?
you know how long they've been at this facility?
I don't.
But Dr.
Talk to the
Dallin
doctor
will
about
probably be able to tell us that.
Maybe you already said this, but have the authorities been notified yet?
But if not,
No, of
No
course
authorities.
not. I mentioned that earlier. We don't want the police involved at this point.
should we be expecting? I know you can't tell us how many invitations were sent out, but should we be expecting any other agents to join us in a day or two, or if somebody shows up pretending to join us, we should shoot them because they're on the wrong side?
Well, if it's an agent that goes by mailman, then you should probably eliminate him with extreme prejudice.
All right.
Craig will show up. We'll be like, oh, no.
Bang. Bang.
Or we've already killed you.
All right. So last session, and now it's session 10. Roll for initiative.
Hello, mailman. When does he say that mailman, we might expect to see him?
There is a possibility of a 4th member of the group showing up. Agent mailman.
Lots
Right.
of looks are exchanged.
Yeah. No, there's. I feel like hey, do you have anything else for us, or are you done? It's just
That's all I have for you.
okay.
So on the list that he gave you with the handwritten names, there are 6 names.
Mm-hmm.
There is T, first initial T, period, How, H-O-U.
Ow. Yep.
There is Lila Mac, or Lila, L-I-L-A, Mac.
MAC.
That's right. Correct. There is a Kim Plaslad, P-L-A-S-L-A-D.
On.
What was the first name? Sorry.
T. How.
Oh,
Well, the first name for Plassad.
of Plassad, I thought it was Kim.
Kim, you're right. And there was Leela or Lila Mac.
Oh.
And then Kim Plaslad. There is a Alvin Somby. SOMBY. There is a Ray Bilibas. BILABASS. And there is a Toman F. Prutoth. So Toman is THOMAN. Middle initial F. Prutoth. PRUTOTH. And for all the audio listeners, you're welcome.
That's
and video for that matter.
Val Lilamak. Is he still with us? Or did he go after he said he had nothing more for us?
After he gives you the radio and the list of names and the mention of mailman, he gets up and he proceeds to leave the room.
Do we still hear
Mantia, like as soon as he shuts the door, she just like grabs the table and tries to crack it in two.
All right.
Yeah, she's just like,
give me a crack of the table in two check.
All right, I will do that.
No, it's fine. Yeah. You do not crack the table in two.
No, but she's just like, she's just about to explode, holding it in for whatever those 7 minutes after he sent that, did the Abigail Wright thing and and then mailman on top of it. Like you just sort of, I think the two of you would have seen her starting to like overheat.
The vein.
I get out my notebook and I write ideas for next book title, India Moon, and
she like names. Stands up and she's swearing and like punching the wall.
I think we should Google some of these names just to see.
What the fuck?
Missing persons.
It's maybe Abigail Wright. It's fucking Abigail Wright.
Yeah, I understand.
I
don't need to Google her name.
We said it before. There may be more than one way into that space that we found.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna go find her. Cross the waves. So that stuff that you said was just some jerko handwriting business, right? That was a trip to Europe. That's crossing. I mean, I don't know. That's across the ocean.
I don't know.
Ship both tall and fine. What the hell is a ship tall and fine? I mean, we're talking like a sailing ship? I mean, what are the kind of boats tall? A rocket ship?
I don't know.
These guys, so maybe the facility has a 4th floor too.
Let's not go there yet. Let's investigate these names. Let's talk to the doctor.
Sure.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves on how fucked up this might be.
Do we get any quick hits on any of these names if we just Google them on our phone? These names are not common.
No.
They're not.
Thou.
No, they're not.
Toman F. Prutoth? There's got to be something or nothing. That's it.
Right.
Did you mean Thomas Pruto? No.
No, right. Must include Prutos.
Did we get the address of the facility? I guess the guy's card maybe had it.
On the card, yeah.
It's on the card, yeah. And it's not far from here. It's actually, we're in the same part of Boston.
It's also probably at like by this point, it's probably
It's
like
late.
8:30.
Yeah, but that's got to be a 24/7 kind of facility. I mean,
24/7, crazy.
crazy, exactly. Somebody's there. But yeah, I'd look up the
Toys in the attic. Going
SDHPF.com also.
SDHPF?
Yeah. That's what's on the bottom of the card. I don't know. Is that a Twitter thing? for@sdhpf.com? That's an email.
It's an email.
Yeah, so look up at sdhpf.com and see what's there.
Sean, where did you put the handouts? In what folder?
Yeah, I don't see them.
They
I
are.
can't pull them back up.
You cannot.
I can't find them to pull them back up.
I wonder if there's a difference between share and
make permanently available or something.
well, share and view is different. So let me double check and see.
Ooh.
Share and taunt with. See this? You see it? Yeah, it's gone. Hope you enjoyed that.
I can configure the ownership. See if this will work.
I see it.
There you go.
See it.
Now I just have to do that.
And yeah, now it's in there. Yep, now it's in the volume.
Okay, cool. So
Yeah, that whatever you just did, that worked. Dorchester House.
Dorchester.
Go to Southie. Dorchester.
It's probably Dooster.
Dorchester House.
I refuse.
Dorchester.
I'm from Kansas. I don't talk
Norwood
like
Street. Baston.
So that's in. Yeah, so I don't know what the S is, but DHPF. That's all good. Then for whatever reason it starts with an S.
Dorchester House Psychiatric Facility, right?
Right? Yeah.
The S.
SDHPF. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows why? It's all right, but I'll look it up. See what we can figure out, if anything.
Is there an actual meal coming? Are we staying here? Like, are we going to do a little bit
It's
of
up to you
research while we
guys.
eat, guys? Or, yeah, what do you want to do?
I'd be willing to get some.
So there's-
yeah, I mean, we may as well
There's
hang and get our work done.
Yeah, there's probably a fair bit of like noses buried in phones while we eat.
Yeah.
A couple of adult beverages and find out what we can about all this stuff.
Okay. Let's see. I could probably. Who's the forensics genius of the party? Does anybody? Maya's got forensics.
I think Maya does. Maya's forensics is 30. It's not great, but it's not terrible.
What's Mignon's?
I'm sure it's not great, if anything.
Maya, you have none. Maya, give me a
0.
forensic check. Bitte.
Negative, sir.
Okay.
She's just getting better at her skills like crazy tonight.
Yeah. No, that's good.
Oh, so I forgot to increase one last time.
You're never going to succeed at that rate.
Make a little here. We determined is at 1d4 with this version of the rules. Remember how there was different versions?
Yeah, 1d4 straight up.
Yeah, okay. I just added 3 to alertness.
So doing some searches on these names in standard databases brings up unremarkable files that appear to reflect some of the claims of Barbas where they are Exeter where they're not coming up with much.
Right, but we're not getting any like government institutions or
No.
nothing like that.
Yeah.
Were they all like arrested or detained or taken into custody in the same location, same state, same city? How far
Maybe
apart
not
were
at
they
all.
year? And if it's not important, you can say Not important, but if it is,
because if it was agency business, they may not even be on the books there.
Yeah.
There is. Let's see.
I guess that's a question as well. Is it if these are the real names?
Yeah. You're probably not going to get much with a Google search with these.
Okay. All right.
Some of the details. Like you could maybe find out what they are using something else. I mean, Agent Maya is a marshal. Like,
yep, she can run them in a database, and she's going to.
Yeah.
But the hospital will also have records like crazy, I would think. What day of the week is it? Sorry. The first?
That is a good question. I should have probably had that down. September 1st, 2015.
I thought it was a Thursday last time I looked it up. I don't remember.
Is the... Oh my God. It's not even going to tell me. Tuesday.
Oh, Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday. So we're at about 10:30 Central Time. Hey, do you? I mean, unless there's something that you guys want to maybe uncover the next day, or I guess what is the plan? You're in a restaurant. Probably ate some food.
I feel like we got a lot of I want to look up the psychiatric facility, look up on their website, look up about Dr. Dallin, just sort of figure out what kind of stuff we can figure out.
So I would say yes to all
internet,
all that, but what would stop us from tomorrow morning just going to the hospital?
I think we are going to do that. That's what I was saying. I want to do all that before tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Before we go to the hospital.
So, Sean, the intention for Maya would be to run those names in the Marshall's database, but she's probably not going to have an opportunity to do that unless she has remote access from her apartment. She probably wouldn't be able to do that until she went back to the office after we went to the hospital.
Right. Well,
unless she has secure access somehow.
Yeah, I wouldn't say unless from your laptop, maybe.
Mm-hmm. That's what I mean. In classic cable TV crime TV show where they log into and the emblem is a big eagle on the front and they type a long password.
Of course.
And they have instant access to everything that they need.
Yes. Yeah, you could have your laptop with you. That's fine. You'd probably be in your car if you want to pull it out. Do you want to do it from the restaurant?
She'd probably do it from her apartment, I think. And I'm going to say that she didn't bring her laptop. I think her laptop's back in the apartment. She'd probably do it from there.
Okay. And that's certainly possible. So what
over our landline.
Sure.
So specifically not over Wi-Fi.
Okay.
I guess is the point I'm trying to make.
What you guys have is about the extent of the information you will find, except for Maya, who could probably do some digging with the database access that she has with some of these individuals. But it's going to... I guess you could do it tonight if you're going to burn the midnight oil. And
in fact, when the Google searches come up empty, and we've had a bite to eat, she's going to pack it in early and say, I'm going to go back to my apartment and see what I can find out about these people.
Okay.
In the database. So she, whether it's 9 or 10 or whatever, and she'll spend a couple of hours. She's not going to stay up all night, but she'll stay up till 1 a.m. Researching this stuff.
Okay. All right. Mignon, what are you doing?
I'm going to spend the night trying to remember all of the stuff that happened 20 years ago that I've been repressing. Specifically when I stare at Abigail Wright's name. I almost feel like this might be the vindication that I've been looking for. Because I've resolved that after burning the building down that all these people were lost or dead or who knows what, resigned to some strange fate. So
would that involve reading your own books?
Why not? Why not? And actually reading them and accepting that it's not fiction. So
okay.
But that's it. I'm just that's where I think his headspace is.
All right, Manteo, what are you doing?
So I think having exhausted the internet search stuff, she's gonna ride her bike for about 2 or 3 hours. She's gonna head out to the Western Mass and just do a big circle, get back maybe around midnight or so. Probably hit the hit the few of those roads a little bit faster than she ought to. And then when she gets back in, she'll spend another hour just really meticulously cleaning the bike and getting everything back up to, tightening all the bolts and all that kind of stuff. And try to get herself just so exhausted that she could actually sleep.
Okay. Something comes to mind with Manteo. I wonder if I can find this. I just envision this this song that comes up when she's talking about. So are you taking a look down a westbound road? Is that what you're doing?
That's not a song I know.
Right away, you made your choice. You could go east, you could go west. But you're tired of your own voice.
I'm hearing that you're repeating a song lyric.
Not a Bob Seger fan?
I'm sure it's a song I know because I've got it, but yeah, it's not getting there.
Yeah. You better Google up Roll Me Away, man.
Okay.
It's a good one.
I'll do that.
It's a clue. We need silver bullets because there's a werewolf.
There's a werewolf, exactly.
That's the clue. So I have one other thing. Again, it may not be anything, but the exemplar. The one thing that's been bothering me the whole time is that there was the person seal on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand why. So I've 2 sessions now. I stare at this the whole time while we're playing. I literally am staring at this thing and wondering why there's a person thing on it. So I would have to assume that Jerry keeps staring at it once in a while and is wondering, what kind of run-in he's going to have with this person. I have to assume that my occult is not going to have anything to do with this letter and the person thing.
Well,
there's nothing I read here
about person, and that's I mean, the occult knowledge gives you the understanding of what that symbol is.
Yeah, so he's exhausted that. He knows all of that stuff.
Why it's on the exemplar, you don't know.
Yeah,
that's
I have no idea.
Perplexing you for sure.
But that is constantly in his brain.
Okay.
So.
Maya, you go home to your apartment and you log in to your laptop, pull it up. It's too bad it's not 1995, Could use some 56K
Nope.
28.8 internet speeds, some modems.
None of that. Nope.
Yeah.
She's jacked into probably a Cat 5, not a Cat 5e or a Cat 6.
Well,
Cat
right.
5 cable.
Yes. The good old days of Cat 5, just straight, right? Yeah. 8 twisted pair. Got it.
Straight into the wall.
And the things that you come up with through the database are under for T. Howe. So it takes you a little while to kind of futz through everything, but you find these details. So it says T. Howe, the first entry, and it's you gather this info. Former FBI Special Agent Thomas Howe, Chinese American man, age 39. Leela Mack, former Air Force and NSA information systems specialist. And I could get you this info too if you don't want to write it all down.
That would be great.
That would be
I
awesome.
would be more than happy to do that. Leela Mack, former Air Force, and this is just so you guys can digest it, former Air Force and NSA information systems specialist, Caucasian woman, age 28. Kim Plaslad, former FBI agent, Caucasian woman, age 37. Ray Bilibas, former Army officer, African-American man, age 46. I think I missed one. Yeah. Alvin Somby, former Canadian EPA agent, 45, Caucasian, 45 years, or age 45.
We used to have one of those.
Used to have one of those?
Yeah, EPA Canadian agent. Yeah.
I don't know if you would have known that.
Probably not.
No.
Well, actually, I don't. I think he probably said something at one point.
He was always like
water air tester.
Yeah.
So you're going to share that, Sean?
I will share all this, and then the last one is Toman F. Pertoth, former DEA agent, Caucasian man, age 49. So from a first glance, from these names and details, none of these appear to have surprised you. Like they fit a profile of a recruit
of an agent.
Yeah. Like, oh yeah, you're not getting like social media YouTuber,
right? Or
none of them were
world
anything like
famous
Jerry
author.
Gladstone.
When did
none of them are like Jerry Gladstone
No.
at all.
But she also doesn't get that, like for example, the FBI agents work together, or two of them work together on some joint task force with the USAF or something like that, right?
No.
Okay.
No. There are also a couple other things that are appended to their file when you bring it up to include, let's see, on when you do the search, there is like this phrase that comes up on a couple of them, not all of them, but a couple of them. And it says, in the red, wet inside of men is where all hate sleeps. Violence is what frees it.
That's like a note on some of the records.
Yeah. On the first 3 records.
Is there any way to tell when that entry was edited, added, and by whom?
It's not from the search that you're doing currently.
Yeah.
Could take some time, maybe find out, but it would be odd that it's in there at all.
So she's going to do some sort of export to PDF type action.
Okay.
So she can show these things to her 2 companions when she's offline.
Okay.
Cool.
That's not that last piece didn't help her sleep. I'll say that.
Sure. In the red, wet inside of men is where all hate sleeps. Violence is what frees them. Frees it. I'm sorry. So I think this is a good point to stop, because the next step, I would imagine, unless you guys tell me differently, is you're going to go to the hospital, the facility.
Go to the hospital.
Yeah.
Okay. And from now until the visitation of the hospital, nothing happens.
Call that a success. Yeah.
No sanity checks. Success.
This has been a Litterbox Studio production.